So in this sort, we're looking at comparative suffixes. Specifically, really, you're looking at ER and EST. If you look at all these words, they all end in ER or EST. So you have like kinder and kindest, and those are comparing words. So like, and then you're looking at like, okay, what do they compare? So ER is like exactly to, and then EST is when you're dealing with something that is greater than 2. So these ones here would obviously are going to be the same because this is ER and EST. We'll talk about like where we're talking about like why is that IER and IEST? Because if you look at a word like kinder, right? Kinder, he is kinder than her, or he is kinder than his sister, right? So you have kinder, and that's comparing two people, him and his sister. Or we could say kindest, like he is the kindest of the 3 children. So you're dealing with more than 2, and you're dealing with kindest. Look at the base word. The base word is kind, and all you did was add ER. The base word is kind, and all you did was add EST. But say you look at the other word, like earlier and earliest. This is where you end in IER and IEST. Well, he was earlier than her for class, or he was the earliest of all the students for class. In this case, but you got to look at the root word, and the root word is actually early. So when you're dropping this I, this Y, you change it to I, and you add ER or IEST. So that's why we have the IEST and the IERs. You know, like the root word ends in a Y, and then when you add this suffix to it that allows it to be a comparative adjective, you then have to drop the Y and add an I. Or if it's just kind and ends in the vowel, you don't. So a key thing to conducting this sort and figuring out if it's IER or IEST is that when you're going through, underline the base words like stranger, strange. Actually, the E is part of there, but it just stays an E and they add the R. And then someone, if we can find strangest. Strangest is also the same thing. But that's going to, again, this would go under EREST. Emptiest, EMPTY. So this one would be the IEST. And then emptier is somewhere on here. Emptier is right there. EMPTIER, because again it's EMPTY is your base word. So you gotta want to look at the base words like quieter and then quietest. The base word's quiet. You just add ER and EST. Some of these are a little bit trickier. I think like crummier and murkier, crummiest and murkiest. These are tricky ones. Like crummy, I'm sure you might say like, oh, I had a crummy day. Usually you're talking to crummy means like bad. It's not like, oh, there's a lot of crumbs on the floor. Like, so that floor was crummier than the other floor. No, that's not how it's used. It's like, he had a crummier day than me, or yeah, I had the crummiest day ever. Murky, a good sentence would be, the fog made the afternoon even murkier than the morning. But in the evening, the darkness made it murkiest of all. Murky is kind of like a wet, foggy type of idea in terms of what that means. So these are kind of tricky words in terms of their meaning. I think they're probably the hardest ones on here. But ideally just sort them under your ER, EST, IER, IEST, and then go ahead and play the rest of the video, and I'll show you the sort. So here you'll see 2 sorts. There's your main sort with the ER, EST, IER, and IEST. It's pretty self-explanatory, but here's a little bit of a review sort that you could look at. It's what did you the rules involve adding suffixes to sort the words as shown below. So like the ones you did nothing to, go here. You had the Y to the I, and then you had the strange, which you had an E drop on. So these are just some patterns reviewing like different things you do to add a suffix at the end of a word. Okay, so this is your sort on what's the name of your sort? The name of your sort is comparative suffixes, ER, EST, IER, and IEST.